Now, just to let everyone know, I am not supposed to be making this video right now, so it may have to stop. It's almost 10 o'clock as I wear the Seiko SLA023. Francisco has been my gardener for 25 years. He usually shows up around this time. I got to give him money so he can take away my daughter's desk. So I don't even... But then he's not here, so I figure my time is very limited, so I probably should make this video. A watch obsessive, a watch guy confronts Father Time. I mean, that's kind of ironic. Here, a lot of us who are visiting this channel, who know me, a lot of us, we're into watches and we don't know anything about Father Time. You kind of want to know about Father Time. I learned about Father Time by reading Phil Stutz. He's a best-selling author. He's a therapist. I hate therapy. Phil Stutz is a therapist for guys like me who hate therapy. Why do I hate therapy? Well, therapy in my mind is about staring at your belly button lint and thinking about your past and being miserable and being paralyzed as you just go deeper and deeper into your past. And you do this for 30 years as you develop a dependence on your therapist as if your therapist were your mama. Yes. And then, after 30 years and spending all that time and money, you haven't even changed. That's my idea of therapy. I love Phil Stutz because he's against all of that. He wants you to develop tools to change in the here and now. He wants you to move forward. He wants you to experience the dignity that you experience when you're not engaging in addictive behavior. And so I am an addict. I'm proud of it. I admit it. I'm a watch addict. It's a pestilence. It's a disease. I should be wearing a shirt that says, my watch obsession is a disease, is an illness. Something like that. I should be wearing. My watch obsession is so bad that if I was one of those prisoners in the medieval dungeon in the Count of Monte Cristo, you know, with my skeletal hand beyond the caged bars, I would not be going, water, water. I'd be saying, my planet ocean. I want my planet ocean back. The king stole my planet ocean. So I accept that I have a watch obsession. I own it. But if you're going to own it, then you need to understand Father Time. I never thought about Father Time. I thought he was just some fairy tale character, some old man with a beard, a white gray beard, a giant hourglass. So I find out from Phil Stutz in his book Lessons for Living that Father Time is the embodiment of discipline and structure, and he is our friend if we submit to him. He will help us develop discipline and structure and focus on our finite possibilities and options and make commitments. And so Phil Stutz says most of us are running away from Father Time, and he's pissed. If you run away from him, he will destroy you. He will crush you. And he gives these examples, these case studies. And I grew up in a period of history where there was a rebellion against Father Time. I grew up in the sexual revolution of the 60s and the 70s. Fritz Peterson and Mike Kekich of the New York Yankees, 1972, they were swinging. They were swinging. They traded wives. They were violating. They were violating, domestic conventions. And in my neighborhood, swinging and unrestrained pleasure and the sexual revolution and unlimited freedom, it all hit my suburban neighborhood in San Jose. And what happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. The adults, and this is from a 10-year-old's point of view, the adults lost their minds, they got a divorce, and they told the kids, you're on your own, because now we're in therapy. We don't have time for you. You're on your own. So we didn't have any curfews or anything. We were just running. We survived it. We survived it. God bless our parents. They kind of outgrew the whole Pleasure Island life is infinite possibilities thing. Phil Stutz says life is not infinite possibilities. It's not Pleasure Island. But you see, I grew up believing that. When I was 11 years old, here was my fantasy. This was my dream, my aspiration. I wanted to be a professional baseball player in the likes of Reggie Jackson or Greg Luzinski, Harmon Killebrew, Boog Powell, Lee May, Richie Allen, all my favorite stars, sluggers. And I wanted to be a bachelor. I wanted to have my own luxury apartment. And I would do my own shopping. And now I'm only going to eat sweet cereal. Captain Crunch, Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Quisp, Sugar Pops, Honey Smacks, the whole shebang. It's very good for you. When I was 17, I was going to be a bodybuilder. I was going to be a bodybuilding champion. I was going to own my own health club on an island in the Bahamas. I'm not joking. This is serious. I can't believe I did this. My dream was to be a bodybuilder, live on an island, and supermodels would give me protein drinks in coconut shells. And I would never age. I would have long hair. I would have a 30-inch waist. And I would never age. It was my dream. I really believed it. I believed it. I'm telling you, right here and now, I believed it to be true. I was trying to run away from Father Time. My favorite episode of Lost in Space, of course, it's about the Swiss Family Robinson crashing on a planet that is trying to run away from Father Time. This planet, the promised planet, everyone's teenagers forever. They dance. There's like a disco. Dr. Smith grows long hair and he goes, groovy, man. And then it turns out that these aren't teenagers. Behind their disguise are these aged aliens. It was my favorite Lost in Space show of all time. They get brainwashed from teenagers. So Phil Stutz gives a case study of someone who's trying to run away from Father Time. He's this kid who was spoiled by his mother. His mother coddled him, spoiled him, indulged him, and he grew up to be a flake, a dreamer, a guy who wouldn't fulfill his commitments. He had a hard time making friends, because you know how it is. If someone is a flake, you don't want to hang out with them. So he had a hard time making friends. He was a dreamer. When he was in his mid-30s, he became successful in business. And he told Phil Stutz, his therapist, this is my dream. By the age 40, I will retire and I will buy my own island. And I will be single because I love being single. And by the way, this guy simultaneously had multiple girlfriends. He had a girlfriend rotation. Okay, let's just stop there for a second. First of all, I'm a watch dude. I have a watch rotation. I like to shave with Gillette razors. I have a razor rotation. I have a cereal rotation. Cheerios, Grape Nuts, shredded wheat. But a girlfriend rotation? That crosses the line. It's a bridge too far. So anyways, the guy has a girlfriend rotation. He's going to retire at the age of 40. Live on an island. His idea of freedom was to have zero responsibilities, zero stress, and nonstop pleasure. You know, we laugh at this, but you know what? That message, it permeates our consciousness. Hey, I grew up in the 60s and 70s when Mike Kekich and Fritz Peterson traded wives. I grew up with that stuff, man. In my neighborhood, all the adults got a divorce, lost their mind, went to therapy, told the kids, you're on your own. So, yeah, I grew up with this stuff. So don't laugh at it. It's serious. So his patient, he's all ready to retire. In fact, at 37, his money's coming in. He's going to retire early. There's a problem. He falls in love. And, you know, the woman wants kids. And now he's miserable. He doesn't know what to do. And, Phil Stutz doesn't say what the guy did, but Stutz says, here's the thing, man. You can't run away from Father Time. Father Time is your friend, but you gotta You got to be realistic. You got to submit to Father Time. I think I hear Father Time right now. He's mad. He's mad at us for spending too much time looking at watches on the internet, I'm telling you. So Father Time is the embodiment of discipline and structure. And what Phil Stutz says is you have to commit based on your limited options. Every time you make a choice, Phil Stutz says, something dies. I mean, if you choose to live in city X, you can't live in city Y. If you choose to do career A, you can't do career B. If you decide you're going to wear watch S, then you're not going to wear watch P. Every choice means the death of something else. It's reality. There is no unlimited options. You can't be a dreamer forever. You'll be stagnant. You won't have forward motion, purpose in life. And in that regard, Father Time is our friend. He is the teacher. What's interesting in the chapter, in Lessons for Living, sometimes Phil Stutz refers to this myth as Father Time and sometimes just as the Father, because he's making the point that the Father, for all of us in our psyche, the patriarch, represents discipline. And it's interesting that people, sometimes they unconsciously rebel against their father. I remember in 1987, I was a beginning teacher, and a student, she had to drop my class because I reminded her of her father, who was a Marine, a United States Marine. He was a disciplinarian, and she didn't like the vibe. She didn't like the vibe, dropped the class. A lot of times people are trying to create some kind of pleasure island to rebel against their father. You know, I know Bill Maher, this comedian, he's always scolding married people on his Club Random podcast. Oh, you're married, you're doing the... He mocks them for doing the work. And you know, Bill Maher, he kind of lives in an isolated pleasure island up in the Hollywood Hills. I don't know. I would never tell Bill Maher what to do. I wish he would not be so defensive himself and be so castigating of some of the married men that go on his show. Just you know, Bill Maher's a complicated guy. I'm not trying to denigrate him at all. I know when I was reading Phil Stutz's chapter, I thought of Bill Maher. When I read the chapter about how some people try to disappear on a pleasure island to escape Father Time, I have to be honest, I thought of Bill Maher. I did. He strikes me as someone who mocks people who make a commitment. And so, yeah, I love Phil Stutz. Hate therapy. Phil Stutz is the therapist for guys who hate therapy. And he taught me about Father Time. So I wasn't supposed to make this video. Francisco is supposed to show up, but it's cool. Maybe he shows up next Wednesday. Comes every other Wednesday. I don't know what's going on. I don't care. I made the video. I did it. So that's okay. I use my time wisely, Father Time. Do not be mad at me. I respect you, man. I don't want you mad at me, man. I'm just some dude here on planet Earth. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think. Don't you think, since we're watch dudes, we should kind of know about Father Time? I think so. All right, tell me what you think. Until next time, I'm out.